The Trump family has always been a symbol of power and influence, but behind the glitz and glamour lies a world of complex relationships. Recently, a heated argument between Barron Trump and Ivanka Trump sent shockwaves through the family, sparking questions about what truly happened. What could have caused such tension between them? Stay with us as we uncover the untold story of this unexpected clash. To truly understand the heated argument between Barron Trump and Ivanka Trump, we must first delve into the dynamics of the Trump family. The Trump household is anything but ordinary, with each member occupying a unique role within the family and the public eye. Barron Trump, the youngest son of Donald and Melania Trump, is known for his quiet demeanor and reserved nature. Unlike his older siblings who have embraced the limelight, Barron has largely stayed away from media attention, leading many to speculate about his personality and relationships within the family. On the other hand, Ivanka Trump is a well-established figure in both business and politics. As Donald Trump's eldest daughter, Ivanka played a pivotal role in his presidency, acting as an advisor and public representative of the family. Her polished public image and reputation as a favorite child have sometimes sparked rumors of tension among her siblings, although the family has always denied these claims. The generational gap between Barron, now in his late teens, and Ivanka, a seasoned professional in her 40s, adds an intriguing layer to their relationship. While Ivanka has decades of experience navigating the pressures of fame and family, Barron is still finding his footing, both as an individual and as a member of one of America's most talked-about families. This gap has often raised questions about whether their relationship is one of mentorship, rivalry, or something in between. Adding to the complexity is the family's high-pressure environment. The Trump name comes with immense expectations, and each family member is constantly under public scrutiny. While Ivanka has embraced these challenges with grace, Barron's low-key approach suggests he may feel differently about the Trump legacy. Could this difference in outlook be a source of friction? Recent reports suggest that the argument stemmed from a family discussion about future plans, where Barron's opinions clashed with Ivanka's strong-willed stance. This isn't the first time whispers of disagreements have surfaced, but the fact that it involved Barron, who rarely makes headlines for personal conflicts, has raised eyebrows. Speculation also surrounds their relationship with Melania Trump. As Barron's mother, Melania is known to be fiercely protective of him, while Ivanka has often been described as Donald Trump's right-hand woman. Could differing opinions on family priorities or Melania's influence have contributed to the argument? Furthermore, the family's sprawling business empire, where loyalty and ambition often intersect, might have been another factor. As Barron approaches adulthood, he may be expected to take on a more active role, something Ivanka has long excelled at. This potential shift could create tensions, especially if Barron desires a different path. By understanding these dynamics, we begin to see how the clash could have unfolded. It's not just about two individuals disagreeing. It's about the interplay of personalities, roles, and expectations in one of the world's most scrutinized families. Now, let's dive into what reportedly happened during that fateful confrontation. The disagreement between Barron Trump and Ivanka Trump didn't arise out of nowhere. It was the culmination of simmering tensions and unspoken differences that had been building for some time. Despite their shared family name, Barron and Ivanka have always approached life and responsibilities in markedly different ways, setting the stage for a clash that was perhaps inevitable. It all began with a family gathering at one of the Trump properties. According to insiders, Donald Trump had called the meeting to discuss the future of the Trump organization and the roles each family member might play in its growth. With the company's legacy at stake, Donald emphasized the importance of unity and teamwork among his children. However, while this meeting was meant to strengthen family ties, it inadvertently brought underlying differences to the surface. Ivanka, ever the planner and strategist, had prepared extensively for the discussion. She brought a vision for the company's direction that included expansion into new markets, leveraging their name for luxury branding, and diversifying their portfolio. Her professional experience and polished demeanor commanded attention in the room, as they often do. Barron, however, reportedly expressed a different perspective. At just 18 years old, Barron is at a transitional stage in life, exploring his own identity and interests. Insiders say he questioned whether the family business was something he truly wanted to be a part of, expressing concerns about being pushed into a world he didn't choose. This perspective, while understandable for someone his age, was met with surprise by the family, particularly Ivanka. For Ivanka, who had spent years dedicating herself to the Trump legacy, Barron's reluctance may have felt like a rejection of the very values she holds dear. As someone who has worked tirelessly to maintain the Trump brand, Ivanka likely viewed Barron's stance as naive or even disrespectful. Witnesses say her tone became firm as she attempted to convince him of the importance of their shared responsibilities. What started as a discussion about the future quickly turned personal. Barron, known for his quiet demeanor, surprised everyone by standing his ground. He expressed frustration over the pressure of living up to the Trump name, pointing out how different his life goals were from those of his older siblings. This moment marked a rare glimpse into Barron's inner thoughts, revealing a young man who feels caught between the weight of his family's expectations and his desire to carve out his own path. Adding fuel to the fire, others in the family reportedly took sides. Melania Trump, fiercely protective of Barron, subtly supported his perspective, while Donald Trump seemed torn between encouraging his youngest son's independence and maintaining family unity. With emotions running high, the disagreement escalated, setting the stage for the heated argument between Barron and Ivanka that followed. As the meeting unfolded, the tension in the room became palpable. It was clear that this wasn't just a clash of opinions. It was a deeper conflict rooted in generational differences, personal ambitions, and the ever-present weight of being a Trump. The heated argument between Barron Trump and Ivanka Trump reached its boiling point during an otherwise ordinary family meeting. Witnesses described the moment as shocking, especially given Barron's usual quiet and reserved nature. But on this day, something changed. Barron's pent-up frustrations finally spilled over, and he found himself in an uncharacteristically confrontational exchange with his older half-sister. The tipping point came when Ivanka, frustrated by Barron's resistance to her ideas, made a comment that struck a nerve. She implied that Barron, being the youngest and least experienced, couldn't possibly understand the responsibility that came with being a Trump. Though perhaps unintentional, her words carried an air of condescension, one that Barron couldn't ignore. "I'm not just some kid who doesn't get it," Barron reportedly fired back, his voice sharp and steady. "You think you know everything because you've been running around doing deals with Dad, but you don't see what it's like for me. I didn't ask for any of this." The room fell silent as everyone turned to Barron, shocked by his directness. Even Donald Trump, who was accustomed to intense debates, looked taken aback. Barron's frustration was palpable as he continued, revealing feelings that had been buried beneath years of pressure and public scrutiny. "You had a choice, Ivanka. You decided to be in the spotlight, to be part of this business. I didn't. I just want to be myself without feeling like I'm letting everyone down." Ivanka, who had initially dismissed Barron's reluctance, seemed stunned by his words. For a moment she hesitated, but her instinct to defend her position quickly kicked in. "Do you think I didn't feel the pressure?" She shot back. "We've all had to make sacrifices, Barron. That's what it means to be a part of this family. You don't just walk away because it's hard." The exchange grew more intense as both siblings refused to back down. Barron's voice grew louder as he explained how he felt overshadowed and overlooked within the family dynamic. Ivanka, equally passionate, argued that he didn't fully grasp the stakes involved in preserving their family's legacy. At one point, Melania Trump intervened, attempting to de-escalate the situation. She placed a hand on Barron's shoulder, urging him to stay calm, but Barron shook his head. "No, Mom. They need to hear this." It was a side of Barron few had seen before. A young man determined to assert himself, even if it meant clashing with one of the most influential members of his family. Donald Trump finally stepped in, raising his hand to quiet the room. "Enough," he said firmly, his authoritative tone silencing the argument. Turning to Barron, he added, "You've made your point, but this isn't how we solve things." The clash left an undeniable tension in the room. While the argument had subsided, the underlying issues remained unresolved. For Barron, it was a defining moment, a declaration of independence in a family where individuality often takes a backseat to collective ambition. The aftermath of Barron Trump's heated argument with Ivanka Trump was a wake-up call for the entire family. What had started as a tense exchange between siblings became a catalyst for broader discussions about the family dynamics, the weight of expectations, and the struggles of being part of a world-famous household. The immediate atmosphere in the room following the argument was one of discomfort. The once lively and often boisterous Trump family had been silenced by the raw honesty of Barron's words. Ivanka, who rarely found herself on the defensive, left the room quietly, her expression unreadable. Melania Trump, ever the protective mother, followed closely behind Barron as he retreated to his room, her worry etched across her face. Donald Trump, for all his bravado, seemed uncharacteristically reflective. He stayed behind, sitting at the head of the table, staring at the spot where his youngest son had stood moments earlier. Eric and Don Jr., who had been present during the argument, exchanged awkward glances but said nothing, clearly unsure how to navigate the delicate situation. For Barron, the aftermath of the argument was a mix of relief and anxiety. While he felt a sense of liberation after finally voicing his frustrations, he couldn't shake the worry that he might have crossed a line. He spent the rest of the evening in his room, replaying the argument in his mind. Melania checked on him later that night, sitting beside him on the edge of his bed. "Barron," she began softly, "you said some important things today. But I want you to understand, your family loves you, even if they don't always show it the right way." Barron nodded, but remained quiet. He appreciated his mother's support, but wasn't sure how to bridge the gap that had formed between him and Ivanka. Meanwhile, Ivanka grappled with her own emotions. Barron's words had struck a chord, forcing her to confront aspects of her relationship with him that she had overlooked. She had always seen herself as a mentor to her younger brother, someone who could guide him through the complexities of their unique family dynamic. But now she realized that her attempts to help might have come across as dismissive or overbearing. That evening, Jared Kushner, Ivanka's husband, tried to offer her comfort. "You know Barron looks up to you," he said. "But maybe it's time to approach things differently. He's not a kid anymore." Ivanka nodded, acknowledging the truth in Jared's words. She decided that the best course of action would be to give Barron some space before attempting to mend things. Donald Trump, on the other hand, was not one to dwell on emotional matters. However, even he couldn't ignore the impact of the argument. That night, he called a meeting with Melania to discuss how they could address the underlying issues within the family. "We need to do something," he said bluntly. "Barron's not wrong. He didn't choose this life. But he's still part of this family, and we need to find a way to support him without smothering him." Melania agreed, emphasizing the importance of giving Barron the freedom to carve out his own identity. "He needs to know that we're proud of him for who he is, not just because he's a Trump," she said. A few days later, Donald and Melania organized a family meeting at Mar-a-Lago, hoping to address the tension and foster open communication. It was an unusual sight, Donald Trump setting aside his usual agenda to focus on personal matters. Barron was hesitant to attend, but ultimately agreed after some coaxing from Melania. Ivanka, too, was nervous, unsure of how the conversation would unfold. The meeting began with Donald addressing the elephant in the room. "Look, we're not a perfect family," he admitted, a rare moment of vulnerability. "But we're all here because we care about each other. And Barron, I want you to know that your voice matters." Melania took over, encouraging everyone to share their thoughts openly. Barron spoke about the pressure he felt growing up in the public eye and how he often felt overshadowed by his older siblings. Ivanka, in turn, apologized for her earlier comments, admitting that she had underestimated his perspective. "I never meant to make you feel small," she said sincerely. "I've always believed in you, Barron. I just didn't realize I was going about it the wrong way." The meeting marked a turning point for the family. While it didn't magically resolve all their issues, it opened the door for more honest conversations. Barron and Ivanka began to rebuild their relationship slowly, starting with small gestures of goodwill. Ivanka made an effort to include Barron in her projects, seeking his input and treating him as an equal. For his part, Barron began to see his siblings in a new light. He realized that, despite their differences, they all faced challenges in their own way. This understanding helped him feel less isolated and more connected to his family. Over time, the family found a new sense of balance. Donald Trump, while still his larger-than-life self, became more mindful of giving Barron the space to grow and make his own decisions. Melania continued to be a steady source of support, helping Barron navigate the complexities of their unique life. Barron himself began to embrace his individuality, pursuing interests outside the family's shadow. Whether it was through sports, academics, or creative pursuits, he discovered his own passions and began to build a path that felt authentically his. The argument with Ivanka, though painful at the time, became a turning point in Barron's journey towards self-discovery. It was a moment that forced the entire Trump family to confront their own dynamics and make changes for the better. In the end, the incident served as a reminder that even the most high-profile families face challenges, and that it's never too late to grow, learn, and come together. The heated argument between Barron Trump and Ivanka Trump was not just a family disagreement. It was a pivotal moment that brought deeper issues to light. It showed the world that even a family as powerful and public as the Trumps deals with relatable struggles, misunderstandings, generational differences, and the desire to be heard and valued. In the end, this clash wasn't about division. It was about growth. Barron's courage to speak up and Ivanka's willingness to reflect and change led to a stronger, more connected family. This incident stands as a testament to the importance of communication, empathy, and the resilience of relationships, no matter how complicated the circumstances. As the family moves forward, they carry the lessons learned from that day, a reminder that every challenge, no matter how difficult, can pave the way for a new beginning.